What wedding moment made you think they are not going to last long?
When she went alone on her honeymoon, because she booked a trip to the Caribbean despite her newlywed husband having a severe sun allergy.
That's a sick burn.
Groom got into a fist fight with the father of the bride. Split after 4 months. Context: groom and bride's dad. Actually, most people in these families, if I'm honest, have pretty aggressive drinking problems. Father-in-law has always hated him. I wasn't around for what actually set it off, but it ended when the bride got in the middle, got an elbow in the eye, and the happy couple left for the night. This was in rural Canada. Not Letterkenny, but basically Letterkenny. I'd say the father-in-law won the fight though.
That's one long fight.
They had a Dragon Ball Z battle. Had an old boss who was divorced. He told me once, I should have known it wasn't going to last, when the only happy moment I had on my wedding day was when I snuck out to smoke weed with my buddies in the parking lot. Weddings are unduly stressful though. I'd focus more on whether you enjoy spending time with your spouse. Just the two of you.
When they disappeared for half an hour during the reception, they were both saving themselves for marriage and were desperate to bone down. Which is a fine thing to want. But it turns out that was more or less the main reason they got married. They made it almost a year. The bride told her bridesmaids that she didn't actually want to get married. Multiple times. No one told the groom until after the divorce.
I'm sure she got the everyone has cold feet. It'll all be fine talk, despite there being a big difference between am I doing the right thing? This is big and I really don't want this. I feel like it's a mistake.
The groom had a best woman instead of a best man. Nothing wrong with that, but her toast left the whole room in awkward silence because she was clearly in love with him.
2 friends of mine got married, and when they gave their vows, the guy started laughing at the part about being faithful. Oops.
I once watched a live stream of the wrong Vegas wedding. The link I was given for a friend's wedding was incorrect, and during the exchange of vows, the groom got to the part about being faithful, and the bride visibly and audibly chuckled. It was hilarious to watch, but I bet they didn't last long.
Love that you sat and watched their wedding. A wedding's a wedding. This will do. Wow, you guys looked fantastic at the wedding.
The entire bridal party, including parents of the wedded couple, entering into a betting pool of how long the marriage would last. At the wedding reception, IIRC the best man won. Price is Right rules. At 14 months, surely you confide in your friends or even your parents about the whole thing, but who am I to say? I was the best man at a wedding a few years back. At the rehearsal dinner, his future in-laws were treating him like crap. They were bossing him around, making him do crap, and talking down to him. They didn't let him hang out with his groomsmen afterwards while the bride went out and got drunk. They are now divorced. Edit to add a little detail. Yes, he should have stood up for himself. His ex's parents were making him do crap for the wedding the next day and he was too nice to say no. For you youngsters out there, this is cliché, but you really do marry the family and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. A lot of the times.
When the maid of honor professed her love for my brother during her toast at my brother's wedding, and her husband walked up to the head table, picked her up and carried her away before she could embarrass him further. They lasted about 3 months after that. My brother and his wife on the other hand are still happily married 20 years later. Wow, that's a bold strategy. I mean, hell of a time to shoot your shot, but maybe don't be married when you do it. The groom took the stupid cake thing to an extreme. The bride had given him his bite, and mushed a little on his chin or nose. He then took a piece and mashed it into her face so hard that I was expecting her to end up with a bloody nose. Cake and frosting got up her nose, in her eyes, down the front of her dress, etc. The bride had to go get cleaned up, had her makeup redone, and was ugly crying within an hour of saying, "I do." He didn't give a fuck.
I was at the wedding of one of my mom's oldest friends and she clearly had more fun dancing with the best man after the wedding. Long story short, they dated for a while after the divorce.
Your potential replacement is always closer than you think.
I mean, he was the best man.
His third wedding. Same venue and same after ceremony driving away vehicle as the first two. That is definitely a bad sign.
Okay, look, maybe he had one of those stamp cards, and the 10th one will be free. We can't judge. When the groom started off his speech by saying, "We all know I didn't want to get married, but we're here for bride and child we had together 1 year. 3 months later they were finished. That is so sad."
The groom and best man had a dancing routine for getting into the church ceremony and they got nearly halfway through it and I guess the groom felt they hadn't received much applause and wows from us the attendees and decided to go back to the entrance and start all over. Sigh.
Why is no one having a good time? I specifically requested it.
Captain Vunch. Good to see you. But if you're here, who's guarding Hades?